what have people found about this topic? Is any research done on that? You ask that question. So what is known about what I want to study? What has been found? What are the contested issues? Are there departures in the findings? Let's say a researcher has come up with finding A, and that finding differs from the finding of researcher B. Are there such contested findings? I remember reading a couple of articles in the beginning of or at the outbreak of COVID. One study had concluded that COVID does not get transmitted. It does not get transmitted unless there is elongated contact. And then later, when I read another article, the article said that elongated contact is not required. See, these two findings are contested. So you try to get answer to that if there are contested issues on the topic that you wish to work on. And what is yet not known, that is another question you will ask related to the topic. And then next question, why should I study what I want to study? Is it pertinent? Is it worthwhile? And then is it unexplored? Are there contrasting findings? You please try to get answer to these things. Let's do work. We will do work for around 3 minutes. In around 3 minutes time, we will get answer to these questions. So your time starts, it's 3:34. Let's finish the work at 3:37. So please try to get answer. And if you permit me, I expect to get answer from a student that I will be picking, or anyone interested can volunteer. Let's spend 3 minutes to answer the questions. And when you are working, if there are questions to ask, you can write in the chat box. I'll be now visiting chat box too. If you have any question to ask, please do ask. I think there are no questions to ask. But I've asked you questions, the questions that you will try to answer in remaining 1 minute is, what do I want to study? What is known about what I want to study? It won't be possible, I know, but if you try, I think you will continue the work later after the session is over. So what we did is we asked questions like a child. We use inborn quality, and it can be done. You can ask other questions too. Don't think of its relevance or non-relevance. You ask any question you feel like asking. And then let's go to another one. Bim sir.
I wish I could take your entire lecture, Khagendra sir. And this is such interesting. You have such a beautiful voice. You know, I get
thank you, sir.
Really, you know, spellbound. The way you talk, the way you educate the people, and you are the one of the person who has impressed me a lot right from the day one when I started working here at Khagendra University. Well,
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
guys and girls at Rotary Club, right? Today you are a Rotary Club gathering, I guess. And I will put it a little bit of full screen here. Can you see me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay, because I got a email for this morning from Suman, because there are a lot of Sumans in my these things. So I thought it's the same Suman, but it's from ROTRAC 3292. And you guys are doing on a professional development of some of the professional writing programs and all these things. So as a part of as a director of a student welfare director, I really take privilege, to welcome and to thank, and at least I could listen to some of the very, breakthrough, so mind-evoking kind of a presentation by Dr. Khagendra Acharya. In fact, I know him not by his name, not by from where he is, but I know him through his talent. Because I am a testimony of his enormous potential that he worked in the first WASP program that we organized here. And he was sitting, and sometimes we had to have some sort of a lecture gaps and all. He used to make that time blogs and all other these things. And I'm very glad today that ROTRAC has decided to have him as a resource person and share his knowledge and experience to all of students. I really appreciate that. And nevertheless, let me tell a few things. As myself also started working here at Kathmandu University after completing my study in Japan and United States. I came back here, and this kind of soft skill we call, because we by profession someone becomes a doctor, someone becomes engineer, someone becomes scientist, biotechnologist, pharmacist. These are some of the skill, hardcore skill that you gain. But these soft skills are so important, I tell you, after coming back from US, I know English, how to speak. I know how to write the things, but this systematic way of writing, systematic way of expressing your ideas and delivering the things to the place where it needs to be delivered in the right place at the right time is very, very important. As I was watching this, why should I study, what I want to study, what knowledge I should know. All these things are such important things. And I'm really glad Khagendra sir has taken a lead, and you will be again in my mind spot, one of the pioneer in running this kind of department of letters. In some way, this is called department letters or writing skills. And especially knowing English is something different than writing effective English. So I really appreciate that ROTRAC has begun this program. And I'm requesting, because at Kathmandu University School, that Student Welfare Directorate, there are several clubs that are registered, several institutions that are registered. And I do take this as an example that what other clubs could also follow on, especially to utilize our time and resources that we do have in this pandemic situation. Physically, we are not connected. We don't have any chances to meet each other because of this pandemic, ongoing pandemic. And even I don't know how long it will go, but this kind of soft skill, this kind of ways and means of getting connected and bringing us together is really worth. I have seen some of the students are doing some other activities, tree plantation and others, but at this moment, I don't say they are doing better thing or good things, but what I do see, what I do see is like this kind of a soft skill that could be imparted during this pandemic time and could be shared among the students, and you could become one of the leading both soft skill and hard skill embedded in your personality can make you a complete person. So this is what I believe. And I really thank ROTRAC Club for giving me an opportunity to welcome all the students and including resource person for today's programs on the effective or professional writing programs organized by this ROTRAC Club at Kathmandu University. And hope to see that, I think it will go for 3 days, I guess. 1st August, only today, or I'm not sure how long it will go, but I know for sure. I wish I could also attend the Khagendra sir class, and I could further, put myself in a more effective ways to combat or to bring more funding. Because I must say, I first brought my funding in international granting, international competition in year 2006. When I came here, I came back to Nepal in year 2004. It took me 2 years to polish myself to write effective proposal. From that time, it was only $10,000. I got it from an IFS grant, International Foundation of Science. I got a small grant, $10,000. So it was such a joy. Now, with that trend, I continued on and on and on. Now I could at least bring some fundings and some others. My skill, hard skill, would not have been utilized if I could not have acquired the soft skill of writing proposals and speaking and presenting. Also, I should say equally important for students to have this kind of pitching capacity and others. So once again, I thank all entire students, especially particularly the RAC Club at Kathmandu University, organizing such a meaningful and such a, the replicable for others, for exemplary programs for others to feel envious on you, and bringing such a dynamic personalities and an appropriate resource person to make this thing happen, such as Khagendra Acharya. I wish I could also listen some more on that, and wish the best of luck for entire program. Once again, thank you very much, Sumanji, and I think I'm being coordinated by Nisha Chapagai, and thank you, Nisha and others. Please continue and get more enlightened through the speech and the communication skill of Dr. Khagendra. Once again, thank you very much, Nisha.
We are very, very, very blessed to have you here, sir. Thank you so much for being here. We are very thankful for giving your valuable time. And I would also like to welcome you from all our team in our session. Thank you so much for giving your time here, sir.
Thank you, Nisha. I will be more than happy to continue, and I will try to listen. I will, purify my ears by listening the beautiful metallic voice of, I always say Khagendra sir has such a beautiful metallic voice. And he has a really, I think there are a lot of things that the students can learn from his complete personality that the Khagendra sir has. Thank you once again. Thank you very much, Khagendra sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for your kind words. I remember working with you in 2013, I think, in WASH project. You trusted was really a great milestone, I think, for me. It was a great stepping stone. And we then, I think, could not work in 2014 and 15 because I was I was in another country under Erasmus project. Thank you once again, sir, for these kind words. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, please continue, sir. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So let's continue. I was telling you to exercise the inborn qualities. And these are the qualities we all have. Of course, getting answer to question number 2 and question number 3 requires more time. But if you try, I think it will be worth continuing. So please do start with that. My request to you. And then, next question. How realistic is what I want to study? I remember working in a project. It was a couple of years back. We wanted to work on the impact of counseling in brain, for which we had to see the brain image before counseling, and then do counseling, and then again do brain image, MRI image. And it was not possible because see the amount required to carry out that work. We thought of doing that, but we again finally said, no, we can't do. There was the issue of time and resources. It would take a lot of time, and then we did not have resources to carry out that study. And the next thing, what are the sub-issues within that? Is the issue that I am studying narrow enough, or it's very broad so that I won't be able to carry out? For instance, if I want to study migrant returnees' mental health or spinal cord injury in South Asia, in that case, I think spinal cord injury, if I am studying what aspect of spinal cord injury I'll be studying, because there are spectrums within that. There are sub-issues within that. If it's spinal cord injury, am I studying epidemiology aspect of it? Am I studying the hard skill aspect of it? I have to again further ask question, saying the spectrum within the issue. Any issue that you want to study has sub-issues within it. The way, the example I think I provided is made the issue clear. If it's, let's say, migrant returnees health, what type of health am I studying? Am I studying mental health? Am I studying physical health? What type of health will I be studying? Because in a research, it won't be possible for you to study both mental health and physical health, possibly if the time and resources are limited. In that case, you have to, again, narrow down. So you ask this question about the topic that you selected. How realistic is what I want to study? What about ethical issues, legal issues, environmental issues? Because these are the issues which have, which play a greater role when you start carrying out research. Let's say I want to study AIDS victim in Nepal. Will I be able to get consent? Will the people who I will be studying consent me? Will it breach the ethical rules of ethical norms of studies? What about studying people under 16? What does the law say? Does my study breach any environmental issues or other concerns? You should ask questions, because without considering these questions, if you start your research, you will at certain point decide not to continue. You should decide not to continue. So you should ask. Of course, challenge you should accept, but how huge is the challenge? You should think about that too. And next thing you ask will be, how can I study what I want to study? See, these are the basic questions, the questions that we ask as children related to the topic, of course. So in that sense, we as researchers are being children and exercising this skill. How can I study? Who am I studying? What am I studying? Am I studying people? Am I studying certain entity? So what am I studying? Who am I studying? Is it appropriate to study? How am I going to get information? If it's, let's say, individual, how am I going to get information from the individual? Let's say I want to study students' perception of quality education. How am I going to get information? Am I going to get information through interview? Am I going to get information through survey? When you ask these questions, at least a couple of words will be there as answer, and you will work further on that. What will I do with the collected information? Let's say I collected information from the students on their perception. How am I going to interpret the information that I have collected? If you ask these questions and then proceed, I think you will find the task easier. You will not be again beginning with the basic. Once you have these questions and then ponder over these questions for some time, think over these questions for some time, the next thing that you do is you start collecting information. So please note this step that I said. First, ask questions. Questions related to the topic. What do I want to study? What is known about what I want to study? Why should I study? And then how realistic is what I want to study, whether I can study it. If I'm going to study, then how am I going to study it? When you think over these questions, the next step will be collecting information. So you start in the next step collecting information. What do you collect? Please see, let me minimize this one so that I can show the slide well. Okay. First question was, what do I want to study? And in response, you will get a topic. I want to study why crows settle in large number in Kathmandu University? Why crows are found in large number in Kathmandu University? Or say you see, let's say, many dogs around Kathmandu University, and then why are dogs found in large number in Kathmandu University? Say, I want to study about dogs in Kathmandu University. So it should not be very big thing when you are starting as a researcher. Of course, it has to be related to the area in which you are working. I am working in the domain of post-traumatic stress disorder. Of course, as a researcher in that, I'll ask question related to that broader issue. And you, is if you are environmental science student, you will be asking question about that. If you are, let's say, interested in dogs, and then you happen to see large number of dogs in Kathmandu University, then your topic, of course, will be dogs in Kathmandu University. There are sub-issues within that topic, dogs in Kathmandu University. So one issue can be health of dogs in Kathmandu University. If you are student of medical science, maybe you'll be interested in that. Veterinary science, if you are from veterinary science, you will be interested in that. If, let's say, you are interested in the society, if you are interested in studying the society, how do the residents in quarter treat dogs? So how is the nexus? How is the relation between the two? You may study that too. See, I had said there may be sub issues within that, and then you ask that, and then in response start collecting information. What information you collect? About the terms in the research topic. If it's, let's say, mental health of migrant returnees, if it is mental health of migrant returnees, what are the terms there? Mental health and then migrant returnees. So you as a inquisitive person collecting information will go to the site this way. Let me show you the approach that I use. If I show, I think it will be, I'm showing you. I'm stopping share and then showing you a web page, taking you to a web page. Okay, let's say I'm interested in mental health, MENTL, mental, HELTS, health. If you source with this, I think the information that you get will be huge, and you will have a problem of finding out appropriate information. So what do you do? Okay, the topic has mental health and then migrant returnees. Then source with mental health and .edu. If you source with this, then you find more authentic information. See, the information that you get in these sites are authentic, is authentic information. So get information from authentic sources. Okay, so mental health. So what is mental health is defined by Harvard University. So what is mental health defined by this one? Of course, the definition of other people may be useful, but my request to you is please do find authentic information. It is required. So mental health is one. And then next topic is MIGRANT, migrant, RATU, RNES, returnees. So migrant returnees. So what is migrant returnees? These are the basic terms, and you should try to get information related to these terms. I know that Dr. Biraj Thapa is working on green hydrogen. So if it is green HYDROGEN hydrogen, okay, if it's green hydrogen, then so what is green hydrogen? Get information on that. And .edu is what I wrote, and it's a way to find out with priority, of course, the authentic information. So please start with that. Let me stop share, and then I'll be sharing the PowerPoint slide. Thank you. Okay. So what do I want to study? I want to study this topic. So I need to get information about the topic. What does this term mean? What does this term mean? These are the major terms in my research, and I will find information about that. You pay attention to its genesis. So how did that word begin? What is its etymology? What was its meaning in certain time? Has the meaning changed? Has it evolved? You try to get information, and the information that you search will be, of course, in the website, in general Google website, or in general search engine, let's say, you search there. So how did the concept evolve? Who are the seminal scholars on that? Who are the people who worked on it? If it's, let's say, if it's turbine, in Nepalese context, it's Professor Bola Thapa, who is a seminal scholar on that. And there are many scholars working in certain areas who are considered as seminal scholars who are very prominent in that area. If you are, let's say, if you are working on ethnobotany, then who is the prominent scholar in ethnobotany? What was that scholar's idea? You please try to get that information. So it's the second stage in which you try to get information in response to the questions that you ask. Again, please see the question. What do I want to study? I want to study, let's say, X topic. And then what are the terms in that topic? The terms in the topic include so and so. Okay, the terms in the topic include so and so. The terms in the topic include so and so. Okay, so please do get information. Once it's done, then try to find out information about the importance of starting this issue. Why this issue should be started? Why a third wave should be started? Third wave of COVID be started? Why should we not be back to first wave and then second wave and then study that? Instead, study third wave. Why should we do that? Okay, what's the importance of studying that? That you can find in certain section of writing, which I will introduce, which I'll tell you in the later section. Once you get answer to this question, of course, the information in response to this question, you go to the next question, and that is, what is known, what is yet to know? And this task, to use technical term, is called literature review. To use technical term, it's literature review. To use to use very foundational term, let's say, we said what is known and what is yet to know. This you search in database. Let me tell you about database, or the database that you can use for all types of topics. And that database, let's say, that resource, I think resource will be appropriate term. That resource will be, let me say, another web page. So that page you go can be Google, Google, Scholar, Scholar. So go to Google Scholar and then type the word. Okay, let's try to find out about this term. Okay, fraud and legal system. You have these this number of works. It's 1,610,000 results on this topic. So fraud and legal system. You are trying to know what is known and what is yet not known. So what is known about fraud and legal system? Over litigation, corporate fund, and empirical examination. If you see this one, it says this issue is started. This article says this issue is started. Let me show you this page. I think if I can show without stopping. No, I don't think I can do that. Let me say. Okay, this one is the article. You read this section. Okay, in articles, you find this section abstract. And abstract section has at least 3 major informations. Of course, abstract can be structured, unstructured, about which you can learn later. Abstract has 3 components: the topic, the method, and then the finding. If you see this abstract, it says what the topic is, okay? It says this article aims to fill the gap through the first empirical examination, and then it says what method is used, and then the findings it says. So it has these 3 components, and you collect information from the articles. Again, let me show you the web page which I was referring. Just a second. I think it's now visible. Okay, please see. These are the articles, and you refer to these articles, particularly abstract section. Of course, the information in the abstract section is not complete, but it offers some information. Major 3 informations related to research is stated there. And from there, you collect information. So what issue is started? Okay, this issue is started. Okay, the issue of litigation is started. What litigation is? If you don't know, please Google search. And then next one, identifying and investigating fraud. So it focuses on identification and investigation aspect. So next one focuses on fraud triangle. Next one focuses on mitigation. Okay, so this one focuses on mitigation. If you are studying mitigation issue, then possibly this article will be relevant. If you want to do advanced search, if you do advanced search, then it will be easier. Here is that option. Go to advanced search. Let me show you. There is this option, advanced search, and then you can use words here to modify and then find more appropriate and relevant articles only. And referring to the 3 sections, the topic, the method, and conclusion, you will get information related to the information in response to the question. Let me go back to the question. I was referring to the questions and then showing you the approach used to find information. So what is known and what is yet not known? There are scholars. Scholar number 1 has started this issue. The scholar has used this method. This scholar has found this. And then you make 3-4 columns. In one column, in column 1, you write the name of scholar. And then in next column, you write the issue is started by that scholar. And then in the next one, you write the method used by the scholar. And then in the next one, you write finding of the study. Now you have information related to the question, or information in response to the question, what is known and what is yet to know. So when you see the columns later, you'll say, okay, the available studies have examined this aspect, but this aspect is not examined. Okay, this issue needs to be studied. And then once you find that, that this is not known, this is not studied, then that will be your issue to study. Okay, so you call it resource gap. To use technical term this way, okay, to use technical term, it's resource gap, and this is the way you know. Say you started as a child. Say you started as a child asking question. What do I want to study? You started this way. Okay, I want to study it. And then what is known about what I want to study? And then you try to gather information in response to this question. And then why should I study? Okay, I should study it because this issue has brought conflicting findings. This issue needs to be studied because the context in which it was studied differs from the context in which I am studying. Okay, so you will have answer to that question too. We have two more questions, I think, to answer. Is it feasible to study? And then you calculate the month that you have. Let's say you have 3 months time and you want to study. You have 3 months time and you want to study the effectiveness of Pfizer vaccine. In 3 months time, I think it may not be possible. So whether it's effective or not cannot be studied in 3 months time. What about the manufacturer? And whether you have mentors to help. In our case, in our country, it is one of the major challenges, major problems for researchers. Do I have mentors to help me? Is there anyone who has worked on in this issue? Again, you can do search in Google Scholar. When I need help of any scholar, I search in Google and then find the possible mentor. And then topic, whether the topic is focused, you should ask again. Remember what I had said about the facets within any topic. And then once you have it, you have answer to the question, is it feasible to study? And then how am I going to study the topic? How am I going to select? If it's people, if it's place, if it's thing, how am I going to select? Let's say I am doing anthropological study. And for anthropological study, I require people. If it's, let's say, study of place, then I need to decide the place I'll be working. If it's object, entity, what that entity is, you have to decide. Okay? And then once you get answer to these questions, then next begins. Next task. Okay? And before we go to next task, let's see the questions that we ask, and then the source way to know the questions that we ask and the sources that we visit. What do I want to study? I want to study this topic. You can find topic from books. You can find topics from research articles. You can find topics from seniors. You can find topics from faculties. So I want to do research, but I am not able to decide the topic. If you approach faculty, the faculty may provide you with the topic. If you see the conclusion and recommendation section of research article, you'll find there the article saying further research can be done on this issue. See, you can get answer to that from books as well. Books also discuss in detail the issues, and they say available studies have examined up to this point, but this issue is not studied. You can get from peers, you can get from seniors, so you consult them. What do I want to study? The sources can be this. What is none yet to know? You find answer to that from research articles. So find research articles related to the topic. Why should I study? The rationale you find you find from, of course, from the logic that you use, from the rationale that you use, and of course from available literature too. Is it feasible to study? Then you see the studied topic and then the number of months taken by these studies, and then decide whether it's feasible. Okay, and then method section, you can find in methodology section of research article. Okay, scholar X has studied this issue using this method. Let me use this method. Okay, this way you can do. Just to sum up what we discussed so far, we started or we introduce the questions that we ask is a writer of research proposal, and then next we did is collecting information. We collected information. Once you have these things, means answer to questions, you go to the next stage, and the next stage is packaging. So please get, first thing, ask questions. Second thing, get information, get answers to the questions. And once that's done, you go to the next stage, and that stage is collecting or packaging the collected information, okay? So next stage is packaging. And for packaging, you require template. So please note that this term, template is required. Please note again, templates are organization specific. If it's, let's say, Kathmandu University, I think has its own template for proposal submission. If it's another organization, that organization may have a different template for that. And the template that is used by Kathmandu University cannot be used to submit proposal to another institution. So you get the template from that organization. Organizations have template. If you search in a general Google search with template, then proposal template, and then organization's name, you can find the template. I said they are organization specific, and they are field specific too. Templates are field specific. The template that we use in arts and humanities may not be appropriate for basic sciences. Okay, if it's, let's say, medical science proposal, the template that is used by arts and humanities students will not be appropriate for medical science. So you know the domain that you belong to, and then visit the organization and use the template used by that specific field, and then the field that you belong to, and the organization which you are submitting to. So we started thought process, third step, let's say. First one, we started with questions, we got answer, and we knew the sources as well. I hope you will do it. And then third stage, we said, is packaging. Packaging information that we collected in response to that inquisitiveness which we had then. Possibly we have now too. Research proposal has, I said, formats, and these formats are organization specific. These are some of the organizations. I request you to visit the templates prescribed by these organizations. Please do visit. You'll find the templates totally different. The template that is prescribed by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Bill and Gates Foundation does not resemble the foundation, the template used by National Science Foundation. And European Research Council's format is totally different. So the format used by organizations differ. This is what I wanted to. So you know the organizations which you are submitting. If it's University Grants Commission, Nepal's, if you are submitting to University Grants Commission, know the template used by the organization. They have the template, and it's available, it's accessible. If it's Nepal Health Research Council, you are pharmacy student or medical science student, and you are submitting a proposal to NHRC, then you refer to, you visit the website of Nepal Health Research Council, find the template from there, and then start fitting information, the information that we collected, okay? So this information you start filling. So I said, organizations have their own format. This is the format used by or prescribed by University Grants Commission. if you are packaging the collected information in the template used by University Grants Commission, then you should have this template, okay? The Grants Commission says, you write title in the beginning, and then write abstract, then write background, write problem statement. So these are the components which should be there. And you start fitting in information, this information here. Okay, how should the title be written? They say 8 words or 12 words, not more than that. Abstract, what do you fit in? You write down the topic. Okay, if it's abstract, you write down the topic, then the method, and then expected finding. So you write this way, and how we write these components, I'm going to present. Let's pause for some time. If there are questions, I will try to answer the questions if there are any. Let me see in the chat box. Okay, no questions so far. So I'm delivering like class lecture. It's not being run in the model of workshop. My apologies, because I am introducing you with the basic only. You can do these things yourself. Let's continue. And here I will try to do exercise too. Let's say you figured out the template as well. And then comes writing process. How do you write? Let's go to that component. But before that, again, to show the component that you find in the format of Haribon Small Grants Program. If it's another organization, you find different order of components. If you see proposal title, here also proposal title. And then number 2, it says name and contact detail of applicant. Here you have to write the second component is a second component. You have to write name and contact detail of applicant. You can't write abstract, because abstract here is the component, second component of University Grants Commission proposal. Does not mean that it should be the same here too. If you see abstract, I think you find somewhere, or you may not find. Yes, it's here. It says abstract. So see, the front matter has a number of components in this institution's proposal format. Whereas in the format used by University Grants Commission, it's different. To reiterate what I said, please refer to the format prescribed by organization. If it's not in format, your proposal gets rejected. It's rejected instantly without seeing the content. If it's not in format, it's rejected. So write in the format. If it's introduction, so let's go to the introduction component, which is a common component in many proposals. What do you include in introduction section? These are the components expected in introduction section. Background, available literature, research gap, objective of the study, and rationale of the study. Let's see the questions that we had asked and the response we had collected. In background, in introduction, we said we write background. From where do we write that information? We write this information. What is that topic? And then how did that topic emerge? And what is its evolution? Who are the seminal scholars? And then what are their ideas? And that's what we write in this section. See? So we just write general information related to that topic here. What is known, and that we write in available literature. So it's the review. So say review is written is second component. Then what is the gap? What is yet not known? We write that. And what do I want to do? Objective. Then rational. I think I'll be showing you each component, the way each component is written. In background, you write down precise information about the topic of study, its meaning, its history, idea of seminal scholar. This is what you write in background section. See, we already have that information. Now, what we are doing is we're feeding information in the format that is prescribed by the organization to which we are submitting our proposal. So background information comprises these components. A sample of it, let's see the way background is written. Life events have been defined as social experience or change with a specific onset and course that has a psychological impact on individual. So it's just the definition of life events. And then exposure to such events is reported to cause psychological consequences in migrant workers' life. This is what one scholar has said. It may be because of two major factors and etc. etc. So this is just background information about life events and then their impact in an individual's health. This is the basic information, and this basic information is written. See, where's the space for creativity? There is no space for creativity. It's so mechanical. It says you write background, you define the term, and then you write another component, and then you write another component, you write another component. So it just introduces the topic that you are planning to work on. And here, that creativity is not substantially required. This is background. And then next component where it said in introduction is review of a bi-level literature. Once background is done, you go to the next component, what is known about the issue, and that is literature review. You write literature review. So say, what have scholars said? Okay, this scholar has said this, and then this scholar has said this scholar has said this, and then you are being critical as well. And this is the review of bi-level studies. That is, what is known, what is not known. Okay. Let's go to next one. There is a message in chat box. Let me see. Okay, could you also explain the KU templates for research article? Udit has asked. Udit, I request you to visit the website of schools. The template used by mechanical engineering department may differ from the template used by computer engineering department. So you please do visit. It says, okay, you write this way. Background, you write so and so. And then in this section, you write so and so. You write this component, you don't write this component. It says, I request you to visit the website of Kathmandu University and try to get answer, okay? So next component we said is review of a bi-level literature, and then this is how we write literature review. Next component, problem statement. So see, the template that I had shown, the subcomponents within introduction, background, what to write, we said, a bi-level literature, then research gap, objective of a study, and rationale of the study. We are now in problem statement section. So in problem statement, what do you write? What the available studies have not examined, what is yet to be examined, or if there are disputes in the findings, you position yourself as a new researcher answering the dispute. So that will be a problem statement. Then from the problem statement, you set the objective. What am I trying to do? Am I trying to compare, contrast, investigate, describe? There are many words you use to write the objective, and objectives should be very specific. If it's to develop, then the task that you do in that research should be developing task. If it's clarifying, then your method also should go along that line, and the task that you do should be clarifying task. So refer to the objective and what each objective entails, what each objective expects you to do, please get. There are numerous words, and don't write what you think is appropriate. You double check the meaning of that, what is anticipated from that word. Please double check, and then only you write. Objective, we said. And then let's say the objective, the way objective is written in one research proposal. This research aims to study prevalence of distress and identify the stressors among Nepali returning migrants. So it says what it aims to do. It aims to study. It does not aim to contrast. It does not aim to investigate. It does not aim to describe. It aims to study. So when you say it aims to study, it has certain expectations, okay? It brings in certain expectations, and you should be familiar with these expectations. So what you want to do, you write that, and then the rationale of study is the next one. And in rationale, you write down why you wanted to study that. Okay, so rationale refers to the reason for studying. Okay, so why should that granting agency grant you that money? If, let's say, that granting agency is working on the right of animals, maybe you will say that this study, the outcome of this study will contribute to this area this way. So that's the reason I want to study. You write that too. So see, the first part is done. The first part at shown is introduction. And introduction comprises these subcomponents, right? These subcomponents, it says, the template says, in introduction section, you write these components, it says, and you write. Introduction component is done. So largely in introduction section, you find these components: background information, available literature, problem statement, objective of study, and rationale of the study. I think someone is trying to ask question. Is there any question? No. Okay. Thank you. Ramesh, I think, was trying to ask question, but I think he decided to ask later. Thank you. Let me continue. So this is the introduction section, and it says, the template says what you are expected to write in this section. Once it's done, then comes next one, methodology section. And where do you get methodology section? Methodology section we get from the reading of method or methodology section of the article that you referred. So what are the articles you referred? And then how that particular study examines the issue studied in that research. Will that method be appropriate for you to, or you have to customize that method? You have to ask questions, and your method section answers these questions: the subject of a study or object of a study, data collection, and then how that data will be analyzed. If, let's say, I am studying students in SOS Balgram, if I'm studying students in, let's say, students acquisition in SOS Balgram, the participants I'm studying are the students in Balgram. Okay, then from the students studying in Balgram, who am I studying? Am I studying all the students in Balgram, or I'll be studying particular one? And it brings in the issue of sampling and other terms. I think it won't be possible to discuss all these terms. Anyway, you have to think how you're going to select the participants you are studying. If it's, let's say, people. If it's object, how are you going to select that object? If it's, let's say, phytochemical analysis, of which part are you going to study? Okay, are you studying the leaves? Are you studying the barks? Are you studying the roots? Which part of the plant are you studying? And then how are you going to obtain that? How are you going to treat that? And then how are you going to get information from that? How are you going to analyze that? There are standard protocols, there are standard ways of doing, and you as a researcher should decide. And again, in this case, to decide, you have to have information related to information on the methods used to study that issue. In my case, in case of migrant returnees, we decided to collect quantitative data, not qualitative data. And that information we wanted to collect through questionnaire. So say, who are we studying? We are studying migrant returnees. And then how are we going to collect data? We are going to collect data through questionnaire. It may be through lab test, you will be generating data. It may be through field visit, you'll be generating data. And then how that data will be analyzed. The data we decided to analyze through interpretive phenomenological analysis. So say it answers these three questions related to these three issues. What am I studying? The object or subject. How am I going to collect data? Okay. It's not necessary that you are doing ethnobotanical study and or you are doing ethnobotanical study and you do study only through interview. It's not possible. Maybe in that case, you have to interview the people there. You have to collect parts of plants. You have to bring it to lab, and then you have to do experiment in the lab, and then you have to observe the outcome, and then you have to write the finding. Your study must answer these three questions at least. What you are studying, how you're going to get information, and then how you're going to analyze that information. Get answer. And you are not going to create it. You're rather going to assemble it from the available studies. Okay, available studies on migrant returnees, let's say, have used quantitative methods. Data collected through, let's say, sorting method. Let's say one study collected data through questionnaire, another study collected through focus group discussion. And then you be judicious, which method of data collection will be appropriate in my case. So first, you need to have different terms, different approaches is defined by protocols. And then from there, you select. And you should have information related to the object, then or subject, data collection, and analysis. You write all these components in method or methodology section. Let's say method. Next component is expected outcome and significance. So what is expected from this study? So are you going to measure the level of distress from this study? Are you going to see the effectiveness of certain type of, let's say, instrument? What is expected from the study? You write that, and then how that will contribute, how that finding will contribute to the society, contribute to the community, you write. See the way it's written? This study aims to find the level of distress. And then why this study will be important? What will be its contribution? Understanding the dynamics of distress may be helpful to understand its magnitude, which in turn can be useful in identifying appropriate treatment approach. So it says the benefit of that study too. So what will be the significance of that, you write too, because it is the significance aspect that convinces the granting agencies or approval granting agencies. You write down expected outcome. And then limitations. What are the limitations of the study? What you are going to study what you are not going to study is the delimitation. And then, because there are certain constraints, and then this study cannot cover this aspect, you state that too, which is limitation. Okay,
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
I'm very sorry for interrupting you because I got some messages that screen is not being visible.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me share the screen.
Apologize for interrupting, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I thought it's visible.
Yes, it's visible now, sir.
I think it got just out of the screen and then it continued that way. My apologies. I'm showing you again from the section or from the person from which it didn't appear. From which section it failed to appear? Did it appear up to this one? Not sure. Okay. Later we'll be back to that one. So I was telling you about limitations. So what are the limitations of the study? Okay, and then because there are limitations, there are certain constraining factors, you are studying certain aspect and you are not studying certain aspect that you state in limitations and delimitations. And I've written a sample of that limitation too. And for language to write limitation and delimitation, you should be clear just about what can be studied and what cannot be studied. And you can use template of any 2-3 writings merging together if you find writing difficult. In the initial stage, it works. And when you continue writing, you find the terms, the ideas propping very easily. Is a beginner, you can refer to 3-4 different writings, then bring the language from there, and then paraphrase, and then write write it. It works. Okay. So if you refer to the way limitations are written, if you refer to the way methods are written, you find many similarities. You find similarities in many writings, and it's because it's not creative writing. It's technical writing, and technical writing has certain rules. And when you follow certain rules and write, the writing that I produce and the writing that you produce won't be significantly different. So you can bring template, but you should have information related to what can be studied, what cannot be studied, which is limitation. And then because this can be studied, this cannot be studied, you make choices and then write the information that becomes delimitation. This is another component. And comes another major component, and that component is the Gantt chart. It's another component very commonly found in the templates. So what will be the plan to work? What work will be done at what time? This shows the works in left column and the duration required to complete each work. If it's, let's say, literature review will be done by mid-February. Data collection will be done at the end of April. For data collection, field visit will be done from mid-February to mid-March. And then lab experiment, if there is lab, okay, if that work is there in the method section, you write that from mid-March to end April. This way, you prepare Gantt chart. And this shows the plan, whether, and then looking at it, the assessors can say, okay, this is realistic. The researcher can complete the work in time. You have to prepare Gantt chart in such a way that it tallies, the works tally with the components in method. Please note it. You have to write components in such a way that these components are here in method section. So it says data will be collected. quantitative data. So what is the duration required to collect quantitative data? You write that. Another work it says is it will derive qualitative data too. It will obtain qualitative data too. What time is required to gather qualitative data? You write that too. Okay, so refer to method section and then write down the works here and the time required to complete each work. You produce this way. And then next one is budget. Very important component. You need money to do research. You need money to carry out research project. So what particulars are? These particulars are generally obtained from the methodology section. So if, let's say, it's purchase of equipment X, what is its rate and how many units are required? What will be the budget, total budget? You have to prepare that too, and it has to be realistic. You have to have price of the things required to complete the work. If you are using, let's say, people to collect information, how much money you're going to give? It may be for enumerator, the rate will be 2,000 rupees per day. And how many enumerators are required? Let's say 30 enumerators. So 30 into 2, or the rate and unit. That gives the total budget, total amount, and you prepare the budget based on the works to be done, again, derived from the methodology section. So in that sense, methodology section is very instrumental. You have to write that, you have to refer to that section time and again. Next one is the reference. So what information or which resources did you refer? You refer to research articles, you refer to books, and that they should be written. And there are different ways of writing references. The works that you referred, one style is MLA style, Modern Language Association, and whatever style is prescribed, you use that style. And it's not that difficult, okay? There are ways, easier ways to collect the information. What it says here is the authors are Lee and a second name, Lee and Lee, and there are other authors too. And this is the title. This is the journal published in volume 5, issue 1 in 2012. And it has 100, it's in page number 130. So this is what it says. And there are ways to write references. You can do it. You can obtain it from Google Scholar. You can copy it from Google Scholar. You can use reference management software to produce this one. It's up to you. So ways to prepare references, you can use reference management software. There are numerous reference management softwares which you can use to prepare reference. You can prepare manually as well. In Word document, through Word document or the features in Word document, you can prepare references. Or from Google Scholar citation, you can do. I'm showing you the way you can do from Google Scholar, okay? Let me take you to a page. Okay, this is a Google Scholar page. And here you have this sign, okay? Just this sign, click to it, and then a box props up. So if you are using MLA style, then click to this one, copy, and then paste. If it's APA style, then you click to this one and paste. If it's Chicago style, you click to this one and paste. It can be very easily taken. For instance, let's say I wish to include this one in as a reference, or I want to show or tell the reader that I use this resource. What do? I copy, which I did. Let me stop presenting this page and take you to the page in the PowerPoint page. I am now pasting. If you see here, you find it appearing. See, it appears. Erickson JM, then over litigating corporate fraud and empirical examination. So this is the journal, and then volume number, issue number. So it appears. You can use you can use this approach, this method of preparing reference too. So this is the way we prepare reference. There are ways in which we use reference management software. You can use that. It takes time. I think in one video I have shown, I'll give you the link of videos which I have uploaded in YouTube. You can visit the videos and know the way to bring references or bring references using softwares. Once it's done, once the information is compiled, the next step is revisiting the document. Let me recap once again. We started with the first job, and the first job we did was asking the question. We asked questions, then in response, we collected information. Once we had information, then we decided the template. We selected the template, and then started fitting in information that we collected into the template used by organization. Once the document is ready, you go to the final step, and that final step is revisiting the document, editing the document. And when you are editing, you make sure that the document is written in the template and the document communicates effectively, like it is precise, it is clear, it is accurate. How we maintain conciseness, how you make it clear to discuss that. I think we require around 1 hour. So we may not be able to do it. If Rotary Club again plans, I think we can do that too. You revisit the document, let's say, okay? So, and ensure that it's written in template and it communicates effectively. To summarize, you start with inquisitiveness, and then you generate information, and then you package the information, and you revise the document for effective communication. These are the activities. If you do, I think you will be able to produce a proposal. Please do try. Proposal preparation requires a lot of consultation to resources. And if you know where to collect it from and how to put it in a document, in a single document, proposal writing won't be a difficult job. I will try to answer your questions in the interaction session. And if you are interested in my videos, you can, let me paste it here in the, sorry, I'm pasting it in the chat box. You can visit the link that I have pasted here. And before we go to question answer session, let me answer the questions which are propped there. So what are the reference softwares you suggest? Dipesh has written. Dipesh, there are softwares which you can buy, like EndNote, okay? So let me write here, EndNote. EndNote is one software you have to pay. There are softwares which provide limited storage. Limited storage is provided by softwares like, let me paste the name, or I'll show you, send you the link of the softwares, the WARV softwares for database management. I'm sending you the link, okay? Or if I send image link, I think will be RES, reference, REFERNC, reference management. Let me, I'm sending you a link, okay? So if you refer to this one, if you visit this one, you can find there is Jotero. Jotero is free. It provides up to 1 GB, I think that's one. And EndNote, as I already said, is paid one. And RefWork, I think, is free, okay? And then Mendeley provides access, free access up to 1 GB storage. So these are the softwares, but I recommend you to use Jotero. Jotero is easier. If you need more space, I recommend Mendeley. So you please decide, okay? Dipesh ask, EndNote is to be bought. If we use crack version, does it become problem in publication? I don't have much idea about that, Dipesh, but people use, okay? Where can we publish our research papers if you are doing it under municipalities, grants? You have to get permission. Rajan has asked question, where can we publish our research papers if you are doing it under municipalities, grants? Because it's under the grant, you need to get approval before publication, I think, because they have offered grants to you. They anticipate you to get permission, and you can publish in any outlet. I don't think there is any restriction on that. References software, I think answered. So can we explain more about problem statements? Okay, so Udit has asked question. Udit's question is about problem statement. Problem statement, it says, let me take you to PowerPoint slide, and I'll try to write there in a new slide. So if it's problem statement, what do we write? In problem statements, we write the issues or the conditions which are compelling you to do research. Let's say scholar X studied any issue, and that scholar, let's say, use method X, but that method is questionable. The finding of that method, let's say, is questionable. And if that is the case, you can say that the method used in this study has been questioned, and other methods which are proposed or which are not questioned are not used. And this issue needs to be studied using alternative method. So see, what you're doing, you are stating the problem and then rationalizing as well. So from the existing studies, problem emerges. From the problem that you encounter in everyday, problems emerge. And because that issue is a pertinent issue, if it's not studied, there will be further complications. There will be problems you want to study. That becomes rational of the study. I hope I answered. If there are other questions, let me answer. Okay, Dipesh has written, I am undergrad student. Thank you very much for this session. Thank you, Dipesh, you attended the session. Thank you very much. If there are questions that you received, the organizers received, please do ask. We'll try to finish it within time, because we said we will finish at 5. And if there are requests from students, we can organize another session as well. Over to you, Nisa, now. Nisa?
I'm speechless, first of all, because as I told in the beginning of the session, I was literally unknown about many things related to proposal writing or proposal submitting and all these. But now I got many ideas to explore myself for this proposal writing and proposal submitting session. So gem of Kathmandu University, Mr. Khagendra Acharya, sir, I would like to thank a lot from my side and from everyone's side to you for giving you your most valuable time. Because once one of my senior told the most expensive thing in whole earth is time, you know. So thank you so much for giving your valuable time, and definitely the way you present. I just talked with Mr. Suman Shrestha. I was requesting him that can I please be in Kathmandu University for further days, because you got Mr. Khagendra Acharya sir in Kathmandu University, and he told you are always welcome. So thank you so much for giving your valuable time, and your support towards us will always be memorable for us, definitely. We will never forget all these. Now for vote of thanks session, I would like to hand over this floor to Community Service Chair Secretary of Rotaract Club of Kathmandu University, Retractor Subeksha Bale Shrestha. Floor is over to you, Ms. Subeksha.
Thank you, Nishadi. Good afternoon, everyone. It is an honor for me to address this beautiful gathering. On behalf of Rotaract Club of Kathmandu University, I extend my sincere gratitude towards our chief guest, Students Welfare Director, Professor Dr. Bhim Shrestha, for his ever-encouraging words, our resourceful speaker, Assistant Professor Mr. Khagendra Acharya, for enlightening us with knowledge and enhancing our skills, our moderator, Rotaractor Nisha Chapagai, President of Rotaract Club of Shikhalapur, for coordinating and running the program smoothly. I would also like to pay my regards to the presidents of our collaborative clubs, Rotaractor Hussein Sapkota, President of Rotaract Club of KUMS, Rotaractor Regina Shrestha, President of Rotaract Club of Tulikhel, President of Rotaract Club of Damok, Rotaractor Sapna Limbu, President of Rotaract Club of Pokhara University, Rotaractor Naveen Rajaude, and Rotaractor Nisha Chapagai, President of Rotaract Club of Shikhalapur. Similarly, I would also like to thank the Professional Service Director, Rotaractor Suman Shrestha, and Professional Service Chair Secretary, Rotaractor Sankalpa Baral, for their untiring efforts to make this webinar possible amidst the pandemic. Lastly, I extend my appreciation towards all our energetic participants and volunteers, without whom our program wouldn't have been successful. Thank you everyone for your patience and dedication towards the program. It was a pleasure to have you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you again. And take care. Wish you all remain safe, be inside, and wash your hands, keep distance, and keep learning. And hope to be in contact with you.
Thank you so much, sir. But before leaving you from this session, I would like to say one sentence to you. The way you presented, the way you gave your beautiful voice, and the things you included in your presentation will always be memorable. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Saying all these, I wish everyone would everyone wish to visit you very soon as possible in Kathmandu University. And we will have some tea talk again, talking about more subjects, about more subjects with you, because every word you say will be always you will the way you speak, the way you present us will always be memorable, as I told. So thank you so much, especially for Mr. Khagendra Acharya sir, definitely the gem of Kathmandu University, and Vim Shrestha sir for giving your presentation in this session. We will definitely serving you like this, including more sessions, which will be very informative for your professional life as well. So I would like to request you everyone to be in touch with us. So saying all these, I would like to end this session for today. Thanking you everyone for joining with us. So as Mr. Khagendra sir told, let's wash our hands properly, let's sanitize ourselves, and let's be healthy. So thank you, everyone. I would like to end this session formally for today.
Thank you very much. And you all will be welcome in Kathmandu University when we have face-to-face sessions. Thank you. Thank you very much.